Hello and welcome to Gaia GPS. This is where we pull cards for the astro transits for the week ahead. I am Mimi and I am here with Maya Kana.
Hello everybody.
And we are digging into a nice full week of transits. Now, I do want to mention that through all of these transits, we are in the time of building into eclipses. So just keep that on the back burner of your mind. Eclipses are a time of transformation and change, endings and beginnings, and there's always a theme of shadows and light that go along with eclipse energies, as we see it so clearly in the sky, the shadows and the light as we move through eclipses. So just remember that as we go through these energies. The first transit that we are going to be talking about is Venus shifting into Cancer. So Venus will be shifting into Cancer Monday, July 31st. Shifting relatively early in the morning, 7:54 a.m., and it will be moving through Cancer all the way till August 25th. So I have some interesting cards for Venus moving into Cancer. And I pulled a clarifying card because I was like, what's really going on here? And I pulled the control card in reverse. So I think this is kind of the bottom line of this energy is Cancer loves comfort energy. Venus is pleasure, it is harmony, balance. Venus can represent relationships. But my favorite thing to focus on with Venus is the aspect of self-love. And that's kind of what I'm seeing in my chunk of cards here, is really bring self-love out of the realm of control. Because sometimes in that effort to feel comfortable, we try to play chess with. I have the chess queen. We try to play chess with everything and arrange everything into our lives. And Spirit's like, no need to play control, no need to play chess. I had written a post. This was actually right after I met my twin, and stuff was getting interesting. And I was like, all right, universe, I'm going to stop trying to play chess with the universe, and I'm going to be the queen, and I'm going to let you move me, and I'm going to just hold this energy of myself, in and of myself. That's my ultimate feeling of this Venus through Cancer transit. Can you allow the universe to play the chess? Can you let go of trying to play chess, trying to be in control? Instead, get into your mystical, magical energy. Cancer is a very intuitive sign. So it's like trusting your gut energies. I have Rhiannon, sorceress energy, magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. One of the best things, and Maya actually wrote a post about this the other week, one of the best things you can do to manifest these things into reality, instead of trying to control everything, plot where you're going to put all the chess pieces, is get into the juiciness of the feeling of it. Can you feel it? Can you revel in that? That's going to make you the queen of your life, or the king, rather than feeling the need to control everything. So this is going to be an adventure. This may not always feel as comfortable as you want it to feel. I think we feel comfortable a lot of times being in the, and I'm going to move this piece here, and I'm going to move this piece here, I'm going to move this piece here. We're in this tight little box, and Cancer is like, oh no, we got to get fluid with it. We got to get trusting with this energy. Now, like I said, in the background, there is eclipse energy going on, which means change is imminent, which means the unknown is imminent. With eclipse energy, change happens, things happen. If you're fluid, you'll be able to flow with it. But if you're rigid like this, it's like how they say in, accidents, or when you fall, like if you can fall like loosely, you're less likely to get hurt. When you're rigid, it hurts more. So it's like get loosey-goosey in this energy. This is how you're working this. This is how you're building a nice foundation for yourself. Again, Cancer energy, beyond all the other aspects, Cancer energy is home energy. So it is this foundational energy that we want to feel like we're working through. Hold on. Sorry, my mom just came in. I'm working. Okay. She's a Cancer. So anyways, this is about, I don't know, I feel like it's about building your Building your castle. We're going with this king, queen energy. Building your castle, but it's going to be through the juiciness. It's going to be through the feelings. It's going to be allowing self-love, not in a rigid manner, but in a participatory manner, in a flowing manner, in a cancerous manner, which means that flowing energy. The final card that I have sorrow in reverse. So I do think that this won't be too hard of a transit. My hope is with this sorrow card in reverse, we've already done this. We cried all the tears with all the other transits with Cancer, through the Sun in Cancer and Mercury in Cancer, Mars in Cancer. We cried those tears. So it's not going to be so much about a crying thing, but it's really going to be about allowing the flow and allowing us to really work with these feelings in this positive, self-loving manner. Maya?
I never ever thought that I would say this, but I am really excited for Venus to move into Cancer. A little tiny part of me misses the deep feeling energy that has just kind of gone out with the Cancer sun. So I actually think that this is really a nice transition because we're moving out of Venus in Gemini, which I do think brought like a lot of communication and a lot of mental energy in the realm of Venus, in our friendships, in our relationships. And so I think this is going to be a return to the heart for many of us. And I think it's a call back into our heart center and into our sentimentality. I think this month is a wonderful time to connect with those that we really love, very close friends, very close family. This is an energy that really favors our sort of long-term connections and our safe connections and our really close loved ones. So it's just a wonderful time to show your love and appreciation for the most important people in your life. Maybe tell your mother how much you care about her and love her. I feel like this is the best time of year for us to really honor our parents and our close family members who have helped to grow us into the people that we are. And I thought it was so serendipitous that your mother actually knocked on the door right when you were talking about the family love. So I took that personally as a sign for spirit. I do think that because for some of us, we might have been wrapped up in some of the mental energy with the Venus in Gemini for a while, some people may find that this brings up a little bit of emotional clearing. You may find yourself back in touch with some emotions that you'd lost touch with for a little bit of time. The first card that I have today is actually the Clean It Up card from the Wisdom of the Oracle. And this card offers some really wonderful practical guidance. It basically says, you know, if you are feeling scattered, if you're feeling overwhelmed by your emotions, just take a moment to do a little bit of cleaning. The card actually even recommends that we actually can really clear out the physical things in our life, but it's also an invitation to let the emotions move through us and know that we are in a time of clearing. The build up to the eclipses can bring a lot to the surface for us to release. Definitely don't resist that process. Let these things move through you because we're all going to feel a lot better once we go through the process of releasing that comes along with the eclipse season. I also got the Deep Knowing card, which I think mirrors the Mimi's message about our intuition. This is a time where our intuition can come through very strong through our feelings. Use this time period to work with your emotional guidance system. If you're hoping to expand your intuition, tune into your heart and into what feels right for your long-term action. There's an interesting energy here that's building with eclipse season. It just sort of feels like we're being called into these higher and better versions of ourselves. And we have these little, it feels to me anyway in my life, like there's really an abundance of kind of small tests where Spirit's like, are you going to stay the course with what you really want? And I think that this energy is asking us to reflect on our heart's desires again. I did get the Ideal Course of Action card here. And I think that this is saying like, how do we really want to show up in our relationships? What kind of friend, what kind of partner, what kind of family member do you want to be? And stay focused on that bigger vision of how you want to show up. And then when the little moments come to decide how you're going to react or the little challenges come, Stay focused on that ideal person that you are striving to become and take time to tune into that vision. I did get, for a lesson, I did get the love card, which I was kind of like, Spirit, are you sure again? Like, I think that in GPS, this is pretty much the only lesson card I ever pull. But I think it's an important message for all of us to stay focused on love. Like, stay focused on seeing through the lens of the heart. Stay focused on the positive and know that we're really being grown in this moment. We are really being grown into better versions of ourselves. And whatever does transpire with Venus in Cancer, it is to make you like a more loving person and to make you a better version of yourself. And the final cards that I got today, I got the Innocence card. And this Innocence card says that we are all guiltless in truth. I think that this energy, it could bring up some memories from our childhood. It could bring up memories of our family. And sometimes when we uncover some of those more difficult memories, there can be this tendency to want to blame ourselves or to think. Venus in Cancer can really bring a lot of energy to the past. And it can make us sort of think, well, what if I would have had this relationship differently or things like that? And this says, don't lament on the past. Like, it's good to learn from the past, but know that you are guiltless in truth, and we're all doing the best that we can. Your family members are guiltless in truth as well. And I did get the play card, which I think is an invitation to nurture our inner child. I think there is really an inner child healing that's going to be taking place through the next month or so with this transit. So everybody be very, very kind to yourself, to your inner child, and to the inner child of all of your loved ones.
What I always say about Cancer energy is, you know, Cancer comes right before the Leo energy. And I think it's really important for us to nurture, like, almost our inner infant, like really the baby part of ourselves, so that, you know, the inner child can really come out, roar with the Leo energy, be confident in that Leo energy. Cancer really does take care of that foundational energy of that. So that really goes hand in hand with that. And if you're my friend on Facebook, you may have seen, I am so into using products for children in order to tend to my inner child, to tend to my inner infant. I actually just got an oil, and I use this quite frequently when, like, I need TLC. It's an oil called Gentle Baby from Young Living, and I, like, put it on myself, and I'm like, you're a good baby. So I definitely agree with you about that when it comes to the Cancer energy. So the next transit that we have is the moon moving into Sagittarius on Tuesday. Tuesday, August 1st. We are entering August, people. So this transit, I've got some interesting cards. And I'm going to actually start with my goddess card. I have Suis, bodies of water. And so spend time near water, such as lake, river, ocean, to recharge your batteries. Now, I have to tell you, I am a Sagittarius with a Leo moon. So here we are in Leo with Sagittarius moon energy. I need water to balance out my fire. And I'm kind of feeling that with this energy. I have Creator in reverse, which you see. This is a lot of big fire energy, like working up in the solar plexus. But I think that we need to find a balance. Now, let me mention again in the background, eclipses, Mercury, pre-retrograde shadow period. We're also in Uranus, pre-retrograde shadow period. Uranus is going retrograde this week. And so my feeling is all of this energy can feel like a lot. And with all of this fire coming up, the universe is like, don't get stuck in your mind. You may be getting stuck in your creativity. You need an outlet. You need this water energy to remind you of that flow energy, to get you into your intuition. I actually have, this is such an interesting card, and it's so interesting with Creator in reverse. I have the Ice Queen. My Ice Queen is ideas preserved, non-action. And what it's saying is there may be so many ideas coming to the surface right now that it's almost too much. So it's like, settle in, settle down, get into your flow in order to work with this energy. And I think that it can feel that like that when we have like all of these. It kind of, to me, when I feel the astro energies, you know, coming at me at all sides, it can feel kind of like all the different currents that you feel in the ocean. Like you feel one going this way, I forget what they're called, like the cross currents that come in, riptides and that kind of thing. It can feel kind of like that. And so in and through this energy, it's like, wow, there's some divine possibilities that are coming through. There is some divine creation that's coming through. Sagittarius is the sign of infinite possibilities. You do not have to see it made manifest right now. What you do have to do is follow your flow. Follow the guidance. And that's not always easy with the double fire energy, because the double fire energy is like, go, go, go. I want it now. If I have learned anything, it is the lesson of patience over this last little bit. And so that's what I'm feeling in and through this energy. Don't try to overdo it all at once. There's due time for everything that will be coming out and making its way. If you have all these ideas coming up, oh, I have a little moth getting really up close and personal with my face. Hi, moth. Moth energy for everybody. If you have that coming around, it was just a tiny one, but it was like going for my third eye. So moth is sending me messages. Anyways, preserve them. Write those energies down. There will be time. The other cards that I have is clinging to the past and letting go. And one of the things is I feel like where we're really meant to be processing is in and through the realm of the emotions. Cancer moving through Venus moving through Cancer is going to be showing us that. And, you know, between Mercury going retrograde and Uranus going retrograde, we are going to have, I think it's like 6 planets retrograde again. So there's a lot of this internal energy that's working us. There are emotions that are coming up to the surface to be let go. Again, this is also part of the eclipse energy that's coming through. So it may not be the time to move so swiftly in with these creations. It also may be that there's so much mental energy that you're not quite hearing the guidance as clearly as you will as when you are able to clear out some of this old stuff. So if you find yourself getting overwhelmed, get yourself to the water. Beach, bath, sprinkler hose, pool, you know, whatever the water is for you, but get yourself to the water to help you process the energy, to cool down some of that fire, you know, so that you can expand and extend this creativity till that time that you're actually really ready to utilize the inner Shakti fire that will be coming up in and through this. Maya?
Yeah, so the moon into Sagittarius. I do think this is a little bit of an unpredictable energy. This moon in Sagittarius, it's going to most likely shake a lot of people up. That Sagittarius energy wants motion. It wants to break out of routine. And it's also interesting as well that it's coming in on August 1st. It's a day one, and it's going to be a reset for many of us. But we may not actually know what we're being reset to until this transit is over. So kind of hold on tight and enjoy the experience midweek on Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, you spoke a lot of water, and being near the water is a way for us to not only cleanse our energy and center, but it's also very helpful for our intuition. So water tends to actually bring out our intuition, and Sagittarius is a very psychic sign. So for sure, for anyone being scattered, I got the ocean card here, and this really says, you know, that the water energy will soothe us. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about this because Mimi said so much about this. But even sometimes if you need that water energy to balance the fire, you know, even sometimes just sort of getting a little desktop fountain or something like that, just to hear the water sounds, or even letting like the sink trickle a little bit if you can't get out and get near a lake or a river or something like that. You still want to try to bring in that water energy. Even taking a shower can be an amazing way to clear out our energy field. So if you're feeling a little bit scattered here, I would definitely encourage you to go swimming or take a shower or go near natural water if you are able to. Now, for the big picture energy, I did get the chaos and conflict card, okay? And this basically says, for us to surrender to not being sure, so to surrender to not knowing. Sometimes we get wrapped into what can feel like a little bit of an energetic tornado or an energetic whirlwind, and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Where is Spirit taking me? Trust that Spirit is taking you in a better direction, and trust that if you can't really get your handle on, you know, what is going on, that it's for a reason and that you don't need to control it, and just flow with this energy. Be willing to make changes. Be willing to leave behind the routines that aren't serving you anymore. Be willing to leave behind the energy that you've been living in for a while and to bring yourself into a new energy, because we're all being transformed by this process. I literally got the Shift Your Energy card, and this card to me, it basically says, don't hold on to what was. Like, we cannot hold on to the past during this time period. If we're meant to move back into the same energy of our past, it will come up again for us. But I think it's best for all of us to really sort of let loose and let ourselves be energetically guided into the next phase of our path. And to mirror this message as well from the lesson cards, I got the acceptance card. And this card says, I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. And so we're in this time period where we're kind of sorting out within ourselves, what are those things that we need to release, that we're conscious of, that we know that we can change. And I think it's a great time for making those kind of changes. However, there are all things that are outside of our control. We all have those things in our life. And this is saying, accept those things, those qualities about yourself or others or the circumstances in your life that you want to change, but you can't. Accept them as they are, and let us all be very flexible through this time period and to flow where we're being guided to flow, staying centered in our heart all throughout. I had actually gotten, when I was shuffling the deck, I actually got the Cupid card, which I do think that's saying, like, for some of us, this could be a little bit of a serendipitous time. It could be a time of bringing in new love and things like that if we let ourselves be sort of swept away in this energy. So that is what I would recommend. I do think this is really nice. It's coming midweek for us, so it's a little infusion of some fresh new energy right at the start of the month. And I think for some of us, it's a good time for a little adventure. If you feel so called to do that midweek, it can be a great time to go on a little trip to your nearest lake or river or waterfall if you are blessed and live in a really beautiful place. So yeah, that's my take on Moon into Sagittarius.
Excellent. Awesome. I love that. All right. Oh, and you, by the way, clinging to the past, that was one of the cards that I had too. The Spirit is like, it is on it. It's like, yes, yes, these are the messages. All right. For our next transit, we have Uranus going retrograde Wednesday, Thursday, depending where you live. It's going retrograde Wednesday, 10:30 p.m. Pacific time. Uranus retrograde, I will be honest, is usually a little bit intense for me. I have to be very vigilant about my nervous system. My nervous system is really sensitive. And Uranus retrograde, like the transits of Uranus, like I feel it. I feel it electrically. I feel it energetically. So if you do have a sensitive nervous system, ground in, take care of yourself. It's another opportunity to connect to water to help support this transit. And I have some really interesting cards in and through this transit. So let me get into the details before I forget. Uranus is going to actually be retrograde into 2018, the very beginning of 2018. I believe it's January 2nd, 2018 is when Uranus will be going direct. Uranus will be retrograde from 28 degrees Aries to 24 degrees Aries. Uranus in Aries. Uranus is that evolution, revolution energy. It is the liberator. So Uranus is helping through going through the transit of Aries, liberate our I am vibration, liberate who we are. And I really do feel this very strongly in our cards. I'm going to start with the Metal King, who I always call the Mental King, but the Metal King. And I have the Metal King in reverse. And I'm going to actually read this because I think this is a really important message for us to really learn through this transit. The Challenger position of the Metal King, which is the upside down in reverse, energy. Be mindful of codependency and enmeshment when the Metal King comes to you as your challenger. He's inviting you to address how overwhelmed you may be around other people. Do you pick up their feelings like a sponge? Do you feel the need to heal them so that you feel better? Get grounded. Be clear about your own personal boundaries. Restrain yourself when you feel like jumping in to help without being asked. This is a warning against forming unhealthy relationships in any areas of your life. So I think this is actually a really important message through this transit to really but hopefully you've already started this process, but to really get to know what it is like to be one unto yourself, to be fully true to your energy. And it's a really interesting thing. Again, sensitive nervous system, empaths, healers. One of the big lessons that I've learned in my life is that we do not have to be the hero for everybody. We don't have to jump in for everybody. And sometimes it's important for us to keep ourselves removed. I feel like we keep ourselves one. I love what Nikki says. Nikki will say, we are one and we are one. And it's really this Uranus transit, I feel this Uranus retrograde transit's like, do you know your oneness? Do you know what your energy is like? Not taking on everybody else's stuff. And in line with that, I have Siege, the quiet time card. Take some quiet time alone to rest, meditate, contemplate. You really do need to spend time alone. Give yourself that space so that you can come into knowing who you are outside of everybody else's energy. And I think there is, also realizing no matter what degree of sensitivity you are, everything does impact everyone. So it's really like whether you think you're a really sensitive person or you don't know yourself to be that sensitive, take the quiet time so you can really get to know yourself outside of the energy of everybody else. In and through this energy as well, I have the consciousness card. To me, this is a time of coming deeper into the consciousness. This is part of the grounding energy, is diving into this. Like I said, this is a nice long transit that we have going on. It's the next, what is that? I don't want to have to do the math. I don't want to have to count on my fingers, but it's like
5 months.
5 months. That's what I was going to say. Is it 5 or 6? It's 5, right? Math. Yes, the next 5 months that we have this transit going on, asking us to dig in. So if you find yourself running out to be the hero for somebody else, Aries style, diving in head first into somebody else's stuff, there's time the next day to realize, oh wait, that wasn't my war to fight, so to speak, because it varies, but that wasn't my thing that I needed to jump into. Work on this consciousness. I always like asking myself, is this for me? And really listening to my inner guidance in and through this. The other card that I have with this is the totality card. And this card is saying, be here now. Be in this moment now. That's part of the consciousness work, the consciousness energy. And it's part of realizing whether you are meant to step into something, if it is, something for you or not, is being in the moment. When you're fully invested in yourself, when you're fully grounded in yourself, you will know and you will act accordingly. But I think this quiet time and the Metal King reverse, these to me are like the cards that are like, this is important. Final card that I want to show you that I have is the stress card. And this is what I think it's going to feel like through this retrograde if you are picking up everybody else's stuff. You see here this guy, he's wearing a costume on a ball, taking his monkey. He's trying to take his monkey. No, his monkey wants to go for a walk. His monkey's like, are you going to take me for a walk? But he's too busy, playing music, juggling the candles. The monkey's, about to get tired of him and be like, no, take me for a walk. I always say with this, take your monkey for a walk. Again, between Mercury retrograde, going retrograde, it's in shadow right now, retrograde, next week, 2 weeks, not quite 2 weeks, but next week, I believe it's going retrograde. It's coming though. Between that energy and this, there can be a lot of mental stuff going on, and that can bring a lot of clouds. If you find that happening to you, if you find yourself not in your consciousness, but really in the mentalness of everything, trying to overanalyze everything, take your monkey for a walk so you do not get yourself in this situation. Take your monkey for a walk. Smell the flowers. Be in this now moment. That will help ground you, bring you back to yourself and through this energy. And that is the key to Uranus retrograde, is coming back into yourself so that you can fully liberate yourself, so that you can fully liberate the consciousness of your soul, the consciousness of your I am energy that wants to be known in its wholeness. Maya?
Uranus retrograde. Oh dear. I have to say that this feels quite intense. This feels like, for anybody who considers yourself to be a light worker, now's the time. That's what it feels like to me. Like, this is a time to go the distance. I got the go the distance card here as the big picture overview of this energy. And this go the distance card has the cheetah up there. This is basically saying that there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs throughout this energy. Uranus is sort of a eureka kind of energy. It's like we could be like really struggling to figure out what's true for us or where we're going, and then all of a sudden just big sudden insights could come through. So if you feel like a little bit lost during this, or you feel like you're doing a lot of clearing, to me, this is representative of cellular memory and cellular clearing. Now, to me, this energy has a lot to do with the collective, though. It may not be that there's that much that's actually being transformed for you individually, but it may be that you're processing a lot of what's going on in the collective. And I think that this could bring about some major changes for us politically as well. And so this says, stay focused on the light. Stay focused on the light. Do not give up on your objectives. You might be tested through this energy a little bit, like, hello there, you. Can you still hold the light? Like, can you still hold the light? Can you still hold a loving perspective, even if your nervous system isn't feeling the best, for example, or even if you're feeling a little bit depleted, or even if perhaps some people that aren't as aware are rebelling during this energy, or freaking out, or fighting against the system, or things like that. It's possible that some of these things could happen. I did get guidance for us around relationships. I got the relationships card here as our lesson card. And this card is saying that it's, well, to me, it's saying come together with your soul family. It's saying that this energy is going to support us in discovering who actually does share the same values as us. And this is saying come together with your soul tribe. The mantra is, I am attracted to the people who serve my higher good, okay? And so if you have some people in your life that do not serve your higher good, you maybe can just release them because they probably serve someone else's highest good. And you can use this time to really, really find your tribe and to know not everybody's going to agree. Like I said, this can be a rebellion energy. I got this celebrate differences card here. And this is saying, listen, like, we need to be loving to all of humanity throughout this time. We need to love ourselves and accept ourselves where we are at, and also understand that there's a lot of different people at a lot of different levels of consciousness. And we can celebrate the fact that different people hold different viewpoints on what is the best. So just let us not be too swept away in this Uranus energy. And it's really interesting. Last week, I was doing a little shopping, and my spirit guides were like, Maya, you should get that lemon balm. And I was like, what is this lemon balm supplement? I had never heard of it or anything, but it was like glowing on the shelf, so I bought it. And I haven't even tried it yet. But yesterday, when I was doing some research on Uranus retrograde, there were recommended herbs, and the number one was lemon balm. So if anybody is, I was like, whoa, amazing. If anybody needs to help their nervous system, that could be a good supplement, or magnesium, Epsom salt baths, sunlight, all these things will help our nervous system. And I did get the be honest with yourself card as well. Speaking of our relationship to ourselves, I do feel that this energy is really going to bring up some, it could bring up some trauma or bring up some things that need to be released within us. And I think this is just saying to acknowledge, you know, where we have maybe been hurt, but to choose to hold ourselves lovingly. I got the Amplify Your Positive Emotions card. And this is one of the best ways to help our nervous system is to know, like, okay, yes, I have a very sensitive nervous system, and I know Mimi does too. And it's really interesting because sometimes when I feel really ungrounded or I feel a lot of energies moving or a lot of clearing happening, I find that if I can just focus on joy just for maybe even 60 seconds, any of the pain will go away, or any of the weird energies or pressure will go away. So it sounds very simple, but it's very, very effective. We can go through a time of clearing. We can go through a time that might feel chaotic in the collective, especially if we are watching the news or reading the newspaper or things like that. But don't let yourself be dragged down into the chaotic vibration. You can hold your vibration at a space of peace, at a space of acceptance, at a celebration of difference. We can be honest with ourselves, and at the same time, we can also choose to amplify our positive emotions. And I think that this is an opportunity to learn how to, I think this is really an opportunity to learn how to find balance in a kind of chaotic energy. And I think that this is a skill that is needed for light workers here in this next phase of planetary ascension. So you can do it. Just recenter every day throughout the next 5 months, you know, and come back into your center and try not to get too judgmental of what's going on in the collective or people that are operating from a different level of consciousness. Just do your best, be honest with yourself, and go the distance. So yeah, that's my take on Uranus retro.
I love that. That reminds me of the task that Spirit gave Libra through me. I don't know if you guys all watched, but I did when we moved into Leo. I went through the lessons of every sign, and for Libra, the lesson was, hey, you're kind of tuning into the collective consciousness, and you're holding a level of collective consciousness right now. What do you want to hold? And so I love that, the joy. Like, can we hold the light? Yes. Yes, we can. I'm holding some right here in my hand right now in the form of rose quartz. supporting and helping. All right. So our next transit, we have the moon shifting into Capricorn. So this moon shifting into Capricorn, this will be Thursday. Let's see. Thursday evening. It is happening, the moon shifting into Capricorn. Now we're actually going to talk about, with the moon in Capricorn, Jupiter square Pluto. So we have Pluto in Capricorn as well. So we will be having all this week this Jupiter square Pluto energy building. I have spoken about it in my scopes. I will give a brief overview in it here as well, but I will be talking about it through the week, because I feel like this is a very important piece leading up to the eclipse that we have on Monday, the partial lunar eclipse that we have coming up on Monday. Like I said, eclipse energy brings shadow and light, and I really feel that with this energy of Jupiter square Pluto and this moon in Capricorn, which is going to be lighting up this energy. Jupiter in Libra, Jupiter, expansive energy. Jupiter in Libra is trying to expand the light. It's trying to expand our pleasure. It's trying to expand our self-love. We're also finding some balance. Like, even as we expand the light, as the light expands, it comes across the shadows. And that's where Pluto comes in. Pluto in Capricorn can attune us to the shadows. And it can attune us to some of those places where we've been holding these shadows as part of our structure, and where we've tucked those shadows into some of those dark corners. Jupiter in Libra is expanding the light into these places. And it's like, hey, you don't have to hide out in this dark corner anymore. You can come into the light. You can bring that joy. You can bring that light into it. I have the perfect card for this. I have the Dragon's Jewel, and I had this last week. I remember, and I read it last week, and I'm going to read it again because I think it's so perfect. The Dragon's Jewel, which is an ally and challenger card all at once. And I don't have it actually opened up to that page. Let's see. This page. Okay. The Dragon's Jewel takes place at the proverbial fork in the road. It's both ally and challenger at once. It represents the tension of opposites. Even though the truth is that we live in unity, we experience the duality of faith and doubt, love and fear, right and wrong, black and white. This aspect of your current experience asks you to accept that Although you may be going one way, another may call you to change direction. Now is the time to inquire whether it's your ego or if it's your soul leading you. Is it fear or is it love? There are always choices in life. Decisions, Capricorn energy, Capricorn decides. Decisions making also solves your inner conflict. If you are torn between two dragons, the one that you choose to feed will be the one that wins. Which is it? If it is not the one that serves the highest of your intentions, deliberately feed the other and the duel will be won in your favor. So I had that card last week. I remember reading that last week. We have this opportunity through this, with this moon in Capricorn. With Capricorn energy, I always say it is your personal responsibility. How will you respond to the energy that's showing up? How will you respond in a way that's true to you, in a way that's true to your soul mission, in a way that is true to your purpose, in the way that's true to your highest and best destiny? Now, as we will be building into this full moon, stuff, shadows and light will be coming up to the surface to be reckoned with. This is a maturity process, you know? It's a maturing process to choose your responsibility, to choose to respond in a way that's true to you. And like I said, in and through this energy, with this square, this Jupiter-Pluto square, to me, the best choice is going to be to practice that self-love. That's going to be the mature process. Instead of shoving those shadows back into the corner, to face them with all the love that you can, to bring forth within them. And look what this does. This is a rebirth process. And here it is, rebirthing us into our innocence, which really is the fullness of our maturity. So trust yourself as you move through this, but practice that art of responsibility when it comes to any of this stuff that may be coming up. The other card that I have in and through this is I have the Maeve card, Cycles and Rhythms. Honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. Now, with full moons, usually, I personally am like, I kind of bounce off the walls with full moons, and it's hard to get me to sleep. But being that there's all this intensity with this, with the Pluto and the building into the eclipse, you may find yourself getting sleepy. I find that when I'm processing some deep stuff, that sometimes the universe just wants to knock me out and like, sleep. You don't need to know. You don't need to mentally process this. It just needs to move through. Sleep. You can dream about this. That may be the case in and through this. Listen to your body. That's part of the art of self-love, is honoring the cycles and the rhythms of your body. That's part of the process of maturity. That's part of the art of responsibility. Listening to your body and making decisions accordingly based on what it needs. So really listen into yourself. It's bringing you deeper in tune with your soul, with your source, with your light. This is a powerful and positive process, but like I said, there will be shadows that need to be faced in and through this. My final card is the Inner Voice card. So trust your intuition, trust how your inner guidance is trying to move you. I feel like I've gotten so many cards this week that have been like, listen to your inner guidance, listen to yourself. And here's another one, yet another confirmation. It's okay to listen to yourself. It's okay to trust what you need at this time to help you move through this. Listen to yourself, trust yourself. You are mature enough to handle this. Maya?
Yes, this is absolutely a process of becoming our most mature selves, especially the Jupiter square Pluto energy. But I wanted to start today by talking about just the moon in Capricorn generally. So this energy is really about sort of planting the seeds for our long-term goals. And we've talked about this for the past couple of weeks, but for some of us, this could be a time of very important action. Like you might find yourself on Thursday suddenly ready to bring harmony between your inner and outer worlds and to take that next step in favor of your big dreams or of your life's purpose. I actually got the Go For It card and the Life's Purpose card. And this to me is a pretty clear message about Moon in Capricorn. Like, if you've been getting clearer and clearer and clearer on why you are here, this could be a time to really acknowledge that within yourself. If your intuition has been telling you, no, like, this is what you're really here for, trust that at this time and be willing to plant the seeds in alignment with your life's purpose. And the Life's Purpose card in this deck says that our life's purpose is what brings us joy. It's serving in a way that brings us joy. So don't necessarily overthink it, just feel into it. For the Jupiter square Pluto energy, this is a whole different ballgame. I think this is really an energy, to me, it's about, can we play nice with ourselves and can we play nice with other people? Because the Jupiter energy is about harmony and it's about partnership, but the Pluto energy is about power. So it's like, can we stand in our power while also acknowledging the power of others as well? Can we stand in our power as light workers? And can we do that with the highest amount of integrity? If we can learn to use our power and channel that through our heart center, then this is going to be a real initiation for us in a real time of expansion. I did get the expansion card from the Nature's Whispers deck. And it really, I feel like we are just being grown. We are all just being grown so quickly during this time, and we are maturing so quickly and expanding so quickly. Just do the best that you can. I think we're all kind of sponges in this energy, and we're learning even more than we realize. Mimi had mentioned sleeping, and I think that is really important. I think it's really important for us all to get as much sleep as our body needs, especially with the Uranus retro going on at the same time. You want to really be able to show up as the best version of yourself every day, because I think a lot of us are going to be facing a lot of opportunities to show up in a higher way than ever before. So make sure you're well rested and ready for this process. I did get the willingness card and the harmony card. So this to me says, go into this energy very, 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 very consciously and be willing to act in favor of harmony. Be very, very mature. Be an adult in this energy. Stand in your integrity, but be willing to compromise with other people. Be willing to come to harmonious agreements with yourself and with others, because the Jupiter energy is in Libra. So it brings luck to taking a mindset of harmony and to balancing that energy of harmony and diplomacy with our personal power. I also got the Peace card. And this says to really invite in the energy of peace throughout this time. You know, when we get to Thursday, recenter in peace. And know that this is going to be an energy that is really good to align with here towards the end of the week. You want to embody that energy of peace, embody the energy of harmony, and if you can, embody the energy of happiness and joy. I did get these two cards, and you know, the happiness card says, when you're happy, you're on the right path. You know, don't overthink it. Like, if something makes you feel good, if it brings you joy, you are on the right path. And when it comes to this Moon and Capricorn energy and all of us discovering deeper and deeper levels of our life's purpose, your life's purpose will bring you joy. It will bring you happiness. If you are happy with what you're doing, know that you are doing the right thing for right now. And if you're not happy with what you're doing, know that whatever it is, that vision that lights you up and makes you happy, that is your highest purpose at this time. And I think this is an opportunity for all of us to act in a way that makes ourselves proud, you know? So if somebody comes to you at the end of the week and they are standing in their power in a sort of a tyrannical way, you can make the choice to harmonize that, and you can make the choice to be diplomatic, and that will be really lucky for you, and that will be really lucky for everyone involved. So yes, I really agree with taking a stance of maturity this week and showing ourselves how much we all have grown through all the transits that have occurred recently. So yeah, this is pretty much my take on Moon in Capricorn, and I'm excited to see what comes up. I do think this could bring insights for a lot of people about why they are here, and I'm really excited to see what comes through during these energies.
Awesome. I love that. All right, so our final thing that we're touching on this week is we have the moon shifting into Aquarius on Sunday. Now, we are going to record again next Saturday, and we are going to get into the eclipse with next Saturday, but I figured we'd branch into this because, you know, eclipses they are transformation and change. And I have Butterfly Maiden, transformation. So we are in this energy. The moon will shift into Aquarius on Sunday, and it was just looking, you know, full moon energy, which is what we're building into with this lunar eclipse energy on Monday the 7th. Dates. Monday the 7th, I believe. It finishes off a cycle. That new moon cycle actually began January 27th. It actually began at the same time as Chinese New Year. So we're finishing off this 6-month cycle, about 6-month cycle, since that new moon in Aquarius energy with this full moon that we're building into, with this moon in Aquarius. And I do have the completion card. So think back, what have you learned? What has gone on since then, now into this time? What's completing? What's coming up to be released? That's one of the things with full moon energy. It is harvest. It is release energy. And again, I have the coming into our source energy as we move through these cycles. Now I love, for Aquarius energy, one of the things about Aquarius is humanitarianism, service. I had this card last week too, and here it is again, the High Lord of gratitude and service. Selflessness, humility, conscious action, taking conscious action. My feeling is, when we are true and one unto ourselves, when we're really true to our source energy, when we're in our joy and love, like Maya said, that card's not reversed, I just picked it up reverse. When we're true to that energy, we are being of divine service. We're in this glowing state of love. We're in the energy that we came to fulfill on this planet. My feeling is that a big part of these eclipse energies that are happening, a big part of all this Leo energy that we're working through, and part of this energy with this Aquarius eclipse, is getting into our authentic, energetic selves so that we can be all that we came to be, which is the joy and the light of our soul source energy. So, as stuff is coming up that may not always feel like joy, it may feel like the shoulds, it may feel like those old beliefs, you know, it may just feel like this card looks. As that stuff comes up, how can you bring it joy? How can you bring this joy energy to these shoulds? Artist Way. I've done Artist Way with Nikki a few times, and there is an exercise that you do where you talk to your inner critic. This actually looks very similar to one of my inner critics. Can you bring the joy of the inner child to your inner critic, reminding that part of yourself who you really are? The Buddha nature of yourself. Everybody has that Buddha nature, the Buddha nature of service, the Buddha nature of light, the Buddha nature that's in the flow, the Bodhisattva nature of Kuan Yin, who's behind me. Can you get into this vibration with the moon into Aquarius? Moon in Aquarius is a very vibrational state. Anything Aquarius, it's very vibrational. How are you going to get there? You're going to get there by following your joy, because that takes you into your source. It takes you into your soul. It takes you away from this trapped place of the shoulds, which is not where we want to be. It's not where we need to be. The final card that I have that I want to show you, I actually have 2 goddess cards for this. I have the Butterfly Maiden Transformation. You're experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. We're shedding the caterpillar, coming into the butterfly, getting our wings. We also have Eggshell, Medicine Woman. It says you're a channel for divine healing power. Again, just like the Buddha nature card, the High Lord of gratitude and service, I believe that we all do have healing capabilities. I believe that when we are one unto ourselves, when we're true to ourselves, in that space, in that energy, we are so powerful. And that energy is healing on some level. It may not be, boom, I touch you and your broken bones are like fixed. It may not necessarily be that kind of healing, but it may just be the smile that, you know, emanates from you, that lights somebody's day up, and that changes their day, and their day changes somebody else's. Do not underestimate what your joy, what your love, what your light can do for the world. It is healing for the world, and the world absolutely needs it. So even if you are not like waving my hands around, boom, you are transformed. Even if it's not that, please do not underestimate yourself, because you never know what the power of a smile can be. And that, to me, is the truest spirit of community, is being your best self, because it changes the world. It brings us into community. It brings us into the we are one and we are one, like Nikki says. So that's just a little glimpse of getting into the eclipse energy, but we'll get more into that next week. And I will let Maya have her say about the moon into Aquarius on Sunday. I mean, now, but it's moving on Sunday.
Next Saturday. Yeah, I'm going to save most of it for next Saturday's GPS. You should all tune in. I'm going to be in my new home by then, and I might have a new special friend with me. So you should all watch next week. But anyway, I just pulled one card for the moon into Aquarius transit, but I got a really, really powerful card, which is regeneration. And this one is pretty straightforward. It basically says endings are beginnings. Also, for some of us, we may find that old dreams that we actually let go of are suddenly revived. But one thing's for sure, and that's that this is going to be a time of change. This is going to be a time of change. This is going to be a time of rebirth. This is a time to regenerate energies. And I think it's a very exciting time for many of us. To me, what comes to mind is, yes, the healing abilities within us coming back up to heal us. And I think for many of us, this is a subconscious process. You may think, oh, I'm not really a healer, or I don't really know how to heal myself. However, your higher self knows what it's doing. Trust me, like your higher self knows what it's doing. You will be regenerated through this process. We are all going to find ourselves anew. And everybody at the level of the soul is love and joy and bliss. And everybody has profound gifts at the level of the soul. I do think that as we move into this eclipse season and as we move into this moon in Aquarius, we're going to start to see the gifts emerging in other people. And we're going to see how we all contribute to the societal whole. And we're going to see, I think, regeneration within ourselves, even if it's subtle, even if it's suddenly, you know, feeling like a slightly improved version of yourself. I also think we're going to see regeneration at the level of society as a whole, which Aquarius is really about that. And yeah, here we go. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. Good luck. Welcome in the new and improved version of yourself, for sure. And let your gifts emerge within you. Because some people really are, like a lot of people really are magical healers. Mimi was saying maybe you think that you're not, but really, most likely you are. Most likely you are a magical healer. Most likely you can work with energies very well. So yeah, let yourself be regenerated and transformed into who you really are. Just more and more and more and more of yourself, more and more and more of your true essence. And if you do that, then you're going to be really amazed by the miraculous shifts that happen.
I agree. You know, and what makes I come up with Aquarius is like, how much of our brain do they say that we use? We use like what, 10% of it, 7%? It's some really low number, right? That we use this percentage. So like our capabilities are literally mind blowing. Like we have no idea of what we're even capable of. So, you know, I always say like, don't worry about it because you don't know, because we can't probably even fathom it, but infinite possibilities. The Sagittarius side of me is always about the infinite possibilities. So definitely some intrigue, some updates, some revelations coming in and through this energy.
Are you excited, Mimi?
Yes, I'm always excited. I like eclipses. I I like change. I like, oh, don't tell me that I said this on a day where I'm being challenged, but I like challenges. I do, despite myself, despite how I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I like the challenge. And then when I come out the other side, I'm like, I am so strong. I did it. So I like all the things.
Yeah, me too. You know, as a psychic, I feel the big shifts that are coming in advance. And before they happen, I definitely feel anxious, like, oh no, how is this going to manifest? But then when they happen, I'm like, yes. Like, even when it's crisis, I'm like, yes, now's the change. Now's the transformation. Like, things are shifting on the planet. This is wonderful. This is amazing. And I think we have some of this coming. So.
Well, here we go. It's like a roller coaster ride. Put your arms up and scream. All right. Well, thank you for joining us this week. Like I said, we will be back next week. Next Saturday, we are going to record so we can get into this first eclipse for you. But we've got all these shifts to get through before that time. So, you know, go with your flow. Be good to yourself. You can always book a reading with me at GaiaBlooming.com. And if you want to find Maya, she is at ChooseFaithNotFear.com. So thank you for joining us. Namaste.
Namaste. Bye, everyone.